You know a spot, but not just a spot, the spot. Actually, with the all-new Nissan Frontier, you know a bunch of them. One for hitting a trail. One for catching a wave. One where this happened.
Yo, where'd our tent go?
Another where the fish get bigger every time you tell the story. Some spots, you made your mark. Others, marked you. And one? Oh, okay, let's stay away from that one. But the key to these great spots? Being able to reach them in the first place. Your spot is out there. Find your frontier in the all-new 2022 Nissan Frontier. With best-in-class standard 310 horsepower, advanced tech, and 281-pound-foot of torque. Comparison based on 2022 Frontier S versus latest in-market Ward small truck segment. Base models compared based on manufacturer's website.
Seriously, who's blowing up my phone? Oh, yeah. Powerball.
Big news. Powerball now draws 3 days a week. Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. Play now. Please play responsibly. Must be 18 years or older to purchase player claim.
What is going on, Los Angeles, specifically Los Angeles Chargers fans? Emergency podcast show today with the breaking news. Khalil Mack is a Los Angeles Charger. We're going to get all into it. Joined and honored to be sitting, I guess, virtually next to Dan Wolkenstein, Jake Hefner, our host for Chargers Unleashed right here on the LA Football Network. Gentlemen, what's going on? Dan, I'll start with you. What's happening, man? How you feeling?
I'm feeling great. I'm going to use an expletive, but I'm not going to do it.
Use an expletive.
The Chargers have Khalil Mack.
Holy shit. I'll do it. There we go.
There you go.
Get it out of there. Let's just get it out of there.
There you go.
Crazy.
Joey Bosa and Khalil Mack on the same defensive line. I'm feeling pretty damn good. Jake, Ryan, how are you guys doing?
Wow.
Fantastic.
Wow.
You know, New York City is what? The city that never sleeps. But I think when it comes to LA football teams, we're the city that never sleeps because there's always something going on. Always something going on. Now the Chargers are in on it. Go ahead, Jake.
Man, you know, I think everybody was just coming off the high yesterday of Russell Wilson being acquired by the Denver Broncos. Denver Broncos making the push that they're a major player now in the AFC West to contend with Justin Herbert and Patrick Mahomes. And it was literally right after Mike Williams had signed his extension. So it kind of took a little bit of that flair away at the news point. And then Tom Telesco just says today, I got you. Bang! I got a trade for you. Something I never do at this magnitude. Sends a 2022 second-round pick and a 2023 sixth-round pick and acquires Khalil Mack to pair with Joey Bosa. Good God.
Share the tweet, Jake, that someone did about what the Bears actually traded.
Man, there's plenty of tweets that I would love to share. So Tyler Dragon of USA Today, I'm not sure if you guys follow him, but he's a fantastic follow on Twitter. He essentially said that the Chicago Bears traded Khalil Mack for a Chicago-style hot dog and a bag of Ruffles chips.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
the 50-cent ones, the ones you can get for like $5 for $2.
I would say it's easily Oscar Mayer, dude. It's easy.
Yeah, it wasn't even a Chicago dog. That's doing the Chicago dog disservice because Chicago has great hot dogs with all the toppings on there. You got the pickle on there.
Yes.
No pickle was involved in this trade. Zero pickle.
No.
Maybe not even ketchup.
No. It was just a plain hot dog with probably a stale bun.
Yeah. The bun wasn't even toasted. Toasted. Guys, Okay, hold on. Can we just take a moment and appreciate the fact that all of those thoughts and people talking about oh my gosh, Tom Telesco doesn't trade. Oh my gosh, Chargers don't get free agency. Oh my gosh, we're not going to do anything. Oh my gosh, the Chargers can't. Crickets.
What?
Crickets.
Yeah, I can't say it anymore. I mean, they couldn't say it. I mean, you shouldn't have said it last year anyway with Corey Linsley, but this is a splashier name, I guess.
Ryan, this is always the free agency football amnesia that not just Chargers fans, but every fan base seems to have every year. It's like, oh yeah, you don't remember when you got that guy that year or that guy that year? It always happens. Always happens.
Yep.
Dan, I mean, hey, I have been critical of Tom Telesco on our show. You've heard me plenty of times saying this, that this was the biggest offseason for him to make a splash with this much draft capital and this much cap space. It was a make or break year, and he had to do something dramatic in order to keep moving forward as the GM. And signs Mike Williams to a 3-year extension, and you trade Khalil Mack. And this, we haven't even started free agent frenzy yet.
Yeah.
So suffice it to say, I think his offseason is off to a pretty hot start.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, it's crazy to me. Not only are the Chargers doing this, but with Mike Williams, they ended up with like $14 million cap hit. So they actually save money compared to like if they would have franchise tag him. On Khalil Mack, I don't know the specifics. I don't know if you guys have it in front of you, but I think like the cap hit for this year was it 10 million?
For who are you speaking of?
For Khalil Mack?
No, I think it's still 20.
I know there's a 2-year, $20 million contract, basically.
Everything that they say, it looks like it's going to be $17 million, but
17.
Obviously I would assume that there would be some restructuring coming in. So
yes,
much like the Mike Williams deal, we'll wait to see what the actual cap hit will be.
And that's one of the advantages of having, before the free agency stuff started, one of the top, if not the top, depending on what time you looked at it, free agency cap hit salary room in the entire NFL. And I don't want to get too ahead of myself, but like, I don't think we're done.
There's no way that the Chargers could be done.
No, we'll get to that in a minute. Cause I have my 2 cents on what they're going after next. I've been preaching all 2 weeks, but
let's go.
But what's so great about this trade, guys, and when you look at elite pass rushers around the league, almost all of them have a pretty top tier guy on the other side of the ball. Like, it's very rare that you have one elite guy and then a very subpar guy on the other side. You always have to have 2, and then the better one shines. When Khalil Mack was at his best in that trade to Chicago, Leonard Floyd was there. Leonard Floyd was a great piece that played alongside. Now, obviously, Leonard Floyd's in LA with the Rams. So you add Khalil Mack to Joey Bosa. Holy crap. I mean, who do you double team? And then if they get someone in the middle, or, I mean, the sky's the limit here.
Yeah, it's it's funny. I started thinking about after this trade was done. Remember, Dan, like for like the first like 4 or 5 weeks of the season, everybody was saying somebody needs to step up opposite Joey Bosa because he's just not able to get any type of rush on the passer because people are keying into him. And yes, and Uchenna Nwosu, came up in big time in certain games this year. He did. But now you put someone the caliber of Khalil Mack opposite of Joey Bosa. And like we said, you're not done. You're not done. We don't know what the hell the interior of this defensive line is going to look like over the next week. So, yeah, pick your poison. Who do you want to block?
I mean, I think back to the days of like Sean Merriman and Sean Phillips as like your 2 bookends. I think of Sean Merriman and Joey Bosa was. I mean, he's never really had another edge guy. Well, Melvin Ingram, but like one of them was always hurt. It seemed like. I mean, I don't think this is a hyperbole. This is the best edge tandem in Chargers history. And I don't think it's close.
We'll have to see it play out, but on paper, for sure. If Khalil Mack can get back to that form that he was 3 years ago when he was on an MVP pace. And, I just think what this move does so great and the fact that, and we can I'll get your thoughts on it, Jake, 'cause I know you had mixed emotions at first and maybe you're feeling different now, but the fact that they only gave up a 2nd round pick this year and a 6th next year is insane to me. I mean, insane that this is the same Khalil Mack that was traded for 2 first-round picks when he went to Chicago. Oakland got 2 first-rounders for him. Granted, we're 3 years later in his career, but you get him back for a 2nd and a 6th? Are you kidding me? Like, the wheeling and dealing in that, I think, is amazing. And I think it shows for all those Tom Telesco haters out there that, A, he's adapted, and B, he's adapted because his coaching staff and Brandon Staley have really had an influence on personnel decisions, and they're bringing in a different style of how they're running things, and it's not the same old Chargers. This is a new brand of football. We saw it, Dan's repping the 4th and Staley shirt. We saw it in how they play on the field. We see it in the culture, and now we're seeing it how the front office is going to do things, and it makes covering LA football with the Rams Chargers a lot of fun because these guys are always in the news. So, I mean, it's fun to see them actually have a seat at the table instead of always being an afterthought like the Chargers were 10 plus years ago.
Brian, I'm glad you brought up the whole last couple of years of Khalil Mack's career getting traded to the Raiders. And so Dan Pompei, a lot of people should know who Dan Pompei is written for multiple Chicago outlets, currently writes for The Athletic. This was his tweet. First off, it was simple tweet was, that's a steal for the Chargers when he looks at the compensation. And then 8 minutes later, he says, the Bears gave up a lot to the Raiders for Khalil Mack back in 2018. His presence never lifted them to where they wanted to go. And now they give him to the Chargers for a meager return. Another typical chapter in Bears history.
I was going to say, if you want to know how, I always look at this. When you want to know how the trade really is, go look at the fan bases of the two teams that I was going with. Bears fans are pissed. Like, they are so in their feelings right now, and rightly so. It's not even. Woo.
When I was in college, here's a random story for you. One night, drinking plastic bottle vodka. We had no chasers in the house. We had a giant canister of Pace salsa. So we were like, oh, chase with Pace. That's how Bears fans are feeling right now because of Ryan Pace, former GM. They're chasing with Pace because it's not going down good with what just happened.
And in typical fashion, like we talked about it, Jake. We talked about it for weeks. Like, the Chargers needed someone. You mentioned it. Like, Chargers needed somebody to step up with opposite Joey Bosa, but like the defense needed someone. Like, look, Shannon Owosu did great. Kaiser White did great. Derwin James was fantastic. Drew Tranquill was good, but like, they needed someone who can have more of an impact on the inside. Like, Kenneth Murray just wasn't doing it. Our interior defensive line really wasn't doing it. Jerry Tillery wasn't doing much. Our defensive backs were kind of depleted with injury. Like, we needed an impact guy. And for a while, we're sitting here talking about, like, all right, who are we going to get in free agency? Who are we going to get in the draft? And we get one before both. And Khalil Mack level, like, I'm sorry, but everyone could be upset about the second round pick. There's 0 people in this draft who are going to be as good as Khalil Mack you're going to get in the second round this year. None.
And here's another comparison, guys. Von Miller last year, I think I still would say Von Miller's a little bit better than Khalil Mack right now. That's just my opinion. I think you could argue both ways, but I think Von Miller's been a little more productive these last few years. But Von Miller last year traded
different kinds of players, but yes.
Yeah, same position. They play a little different. Khalil Mack's a little stronger. Von Miller's a little faster. But Von Miller last year traded for a 2nd and a 3rd round pick, both in 2022. And so Khalil Mack now goes for a 2nd and a 6th. So that kind of just shows you how good a value they got. Because at very least, you think they could get the same compensation as what the Broncos got for Von Miller. So I think there's a good comparison.
Yeah, 100%. I think the only thing that, and I'll just talk about the only thing that kind of just pulled me back a little bit from this is because Dan and I have been deep in our prospect rankings and thinking, where could we get this guy or this guy? And after the Mike Williams signing, that kind of took the percentage chances that the Chargers were spending number 17 on a wide receiver pretty much out the window. So we eliminated at that point to, okay, it's either going to be an edge rusher, a defensive tackle, or a cornerback. And now with the news of this, and now, of course, with them giving up a 2nd round pick this year, now I'm starting to go back to our wide receiver rankings and thinking about all those thoughts in my head about Sky Moore and Cal Austin being possibilities in the 2nd round. They're gone, but damn it, it's a pretty you can't be pissed off for that long for that reason that you have Khalil Mack on your team.
Yes, and they're gone currently. Remember, the Chargers had 11 draft picks this year. I mean, there are not going to be 11 guys from this draft that are going to make this roster.
And you still have 10.
And now you have 10. And so would I trade like 4 or 5 of those 7th and 6th round picks for a second? Probably. In this draft, Sky Moore? Are you kidding me? Cal Austin? Yes, please. So, like, right now, again, I think one thing that is noticeable now in this regime of Chargers is this is not the same old Chargers. Like, the Chargers of the past do not do this trade. They don't. They don't re-sign Mike Williams like this. They don't have players that are looking at wanting to come to LA to play with them. Like they got guys off the streets who used to be Chargers. Sean Merriman is talking about wanting to suit back up if they can get Jordan Davis at 17 now. Like there's excitement building. There's excitement building with this team, and they're actually making roster moves and like making ripples in this league to matter. And I think of all the people like Chargers fans, San Diego, LA, wherever you are, like one of the things that I think Chargers fans were desperate for was like they don't want to be like you said, like that second-class citizen, third-class citizen in the NFL. Like they want to be that team that people talk about. And not, moving to LA, everyone talks about like they got to step up, they got to do it, and like they're doing it. And like this, it's just people aren't used to this being Chargers fans. So I think a lot of people are kind of like in their feelings of like what just happened.
The only trade that I can think of that even comes close to this type of an impact. And again, this is going to be a wide discrepancy because, again, I can't remember one that was like this. But the only thing that even comes close was when the Chargers traded away a second-round pick to go get Chris Chambers mid-season to bring into their offense. That's it. I can't recall anything bigger than that other than today's trade of Khalil Mack that even comes close to one of this magnitude. And for that price.
No, I think so. There are many ways we can go with this, but like already I'm thinking, all right, what's next? And so again, like we're 5 days away from free agency starting, and there are some free agent names that are out there. Folks are clamoring for certain guys, which I don't know, Ryan, if you want to talk about those now, but like, yeah, because the Chargers have money, and again, like they're still carrying, I think it's $14 million cap hit for Brian Bulaga, which I don't think we're going to see him back next year. So like, yeah, he'll be gone. Subtract 14 or add 14 million there, and let's say they go out and get a stud corner, a stud defensive tackle, some depth at corner. Maybe they go and get like an offensive lineman, like a veteran. They're still in the top half easy of salary cap this year. And so like the Chargers have options, and and this is how important it is to have a quarterback on a rookie deal who's good. Like 100%. It allows you to do this. Take away $40 million from this because Justin Herbert's going to have a second contract. You can't do this. Like now's the time, and the Chargers are doing it. Yeah. So I think quickly, it's safe to say we're getting all these questions, and Dan, you're probably way better when you guys just do your show at sifting through them. I forget about him. Uchenna Nwosu is probably gone, right? I think we accept that he'll be playing elsewhere next year.
Yes, 100%. I remember he was looking for somewhere in the realm of 10 to 13 million. That's what the projections were for his market. But with Khalil Mack arriving at about 17 million as of now, we'll see obviously what the updated cap numbers will be. But yeah, this pretty much assures that he's going to be playing elsewhere next season.
Yeah, and honestly, I don't know why they would. I mean, look, it kind of sucks because from a business perspective, the Chargers got better. But like the humanitarian in me is like, man, like Uchenna Nwosu is such a good dude, like on and off the field. And this seems like he's now gone, but I don't see why they bring him back. Now, the one thing I will say is this kind of opens the door for the Kaiser White return in theory. Like, hopefully. Who knows? But like, I can see him bringing him back. I will say, yeah. Looking at all these comments, Ryan, like it is a great day to be a Chargers fan. Like, regardless of what ends up happening. I mean, I'm just going to fly through these real quick, Ryan, so you can see these. I mean, you got people. Dark is talking about Mack and Bosa. We've got Mack and Bosa going and switching sides from Brian LaRue. We've got Let's Go from Howard Dolak. Bolt Bros podcast.
Love it.
Another podcast. I mean, there's so many people that are excited about this for good reason. When is the last time, Ryan or Jake, that we have seen the Chargers fans, media, with this much news to talk about in an offseason before free agency even hits?
Probably just after Herbert's rookie year, just because of how hyped everyone after that. But other than that, I mean, nothing like this level.
Who's our next coach? Like,
yeah, exactly.
It's been a minute.
Yeah. It's good, guys, and it's not going anywhere. And here's what I'll say: since we were talking free agency briefly, I know, Dan, we don't have a super long time anyway, and I truly believe that the Chargers are going to go get J.C. Jackson, and I feel so confident. I will donate $100 to the Children's Hospital Los Angeles if they do not sign J.C. Jackson. I feel like this is their window. They have the quarterback in the rookie deal like I just talked about. They just traded for Khalil Mack. My daughter's having a meltdown, and they're going to go get J.C. Jackson, get the number one corner that Staley truly needs. You have Derwin on the back end. That's your John Johnson for the Rams. Obviously, Derwin's much better. You get J.C. Jackson. That's your Jalen Ramsey in the secondary. And then you get your two pass rushers, your Leonard Floyd and your Aaron O'Donnell. Now you have Joey Bosa and Khalil Mack. Get after it. Now you're a Super Bowl contender. No cap. Legit.
Dan, I didn't think about this. Can you put up Kapil's comment for me, please?
Let me find it. Yes.
His most recent one.
Let me pull it up. Oh,
please do. Okay. I didn't think about this until he exactly brought it up.
Okay.
Is there a way that the Chargers could get their second round pick back?
Okay, Jake has been clamoring for this for decades.
I'm just saying, I've been asking for a trade back for years and years and years. And if there is a way, and I know that everybody's been saying in the comments, and I don't disagree about the possibility of Jordan Davis being there at 17, and you pair that with Joey Bosa and Khalil Mack now, that would just be absolutely insane. There's a part of me, though, that feels like Jordan Davis might not even make it to 17, unfortunately. I would love it if that's it. If that's the pick, I'd be over the moon. But if you could tell me that you could trade back, say to the mid or late 20s and grab Travis Jones and get your second round pick back this year, I would be floored.
Yep.
That's a slam dunk.
Yes.
Could you imagine? Jake would be so happy. He's so happy.
You saw how excited I was when the Rashawn Slater and Asante Samuel Jr. pairing ended up happening, Dan. I might break something in excitement at the draft party in front of both of you guys if that happens.
Yep.
Yeah, my wife will be pissed with me for about 2 weeks, but
and real
I'll
quick,
be happy.
And Ryan, you mentioned $100. You mentioned the $100 donation. Bolt Bros Podcast will match that. With you.
I love it.
Does that mean Chargers do not get J.C. Jackson? So that's now $200 on the table. Can we get higher?
Boom, I'll get it in writing.
Brian, I think this is a good idea. If you publicize this, it's not like a GoFundMe or however you do. I don't know how to do it. Someone who's
I think people would jump on this. There's
get a bunch of people to jump on
fire around J.C. Jackson right now.
Yes. Woo!
And I think this move for me, and I apologize for the crying in the background, I think this move for me solidifies it more because it just shows that they're all in. Like they are pushing their chips in, similar to that of what the Rams have done in the past, and saying, "Hey, we're building this thing out and we're going for it. We don't need these 11 picks to plan for the future. We need to get the right guys to play in this system for this year, and then we can build around that."
Yeah, and I think J.C. Brian, Jackson I don't know if you've seen some of the show. I know you've watched some of the shows, but HH4 is known to be quite the pessimist, kind of similar to Jake.
He speaks my language.
Yes, him and Jake have cups of teas all day long, and has been very, very harsh on.
Yeah, he's great.
This is a big day in history.
And this is a big day. This is a big day when I'm seeing him talk highly of Tom Telesco. HH4, welcome to the 2022 Chargers. Let's go.
Let's go. I love it. Yeah, we were talking on what is today? Thursday? On Tuesday, he was in the chat. So I love it. Good stuff.
Yep.
Positive attitude, baby.
Tommy just said, "Hold my coupons." Jake, all right. So how about you? So Ryan called his shot. Yep. J.C. Jackson. Who do you think Chargers get?
There's a lot of fire
free agency
around,
specifically.
A lot of fire around J.C. Jackson right now, Dan. We've heard of them been linked to a number of different quarterbacks, whether it's Jackson, whether it's Stephon Gilmore, whether it's Travarius Ward, all possibilities. Mm-hmm. The right tackle market, again, is really thin. Morgan Moses would be enticing. I'm not sure if that would basically just replace the cap hit that Brian Bulaga would get, because that's probably going to be around the money that he's looking for. Again, to me, you target the right tackle in the draft, you can pick someone up in the third round and solidify that position to go on with Rashawn Slater for the future. But okay, so outside of this, you've addressed edge. I still think you're going to get not one, but two defensive linemen, because you're going to need it.
Who?
You may end up losing Covington and Linval Joseph. Well, I mean, obviously, Akeem Hicks jumps off the board. Sebastian Joseph Day jumps off the board.
You've been clamoring for Joseph Day for months.
I mean, everything here makes sense, especially when you think of the Staley connections. If this Khalil Mack signing is any indicator as far as the connections goes, then, Akeem Hicks hopefully wouldn't be far behind.
Jeez. A question came in. Who would be a good option for right tackle if we sign Jackson? Now, I will say,
I got one.
Howard, I will say, in the draft, we do Chargers Unleashed. We'll be having a huge right tackle, offensive line position breakdown. So stay tuned for that. We'll go through a whole bunch of them. But Ryan, off the top of your head?
David Questenberry, Tennessee, formerly Scott Questenberry's brother, graded out as a top 11 tackle last year. And he's only slated to get, this is again PFF projections, so who knows how real it is.
Is he in the draft or free agency?
Free agency, sorry. The question was draft. The question was draft. Yeah. I apologize. But I think if you can get a guy for $4 million that's been a starter for 2 years at right tackle, why not bring him in and not pigeonhole yourself? And then you can still get a depth tackle later that you can groom. Because, I mean, at this point, too, with the way you build these rosters, guys, and you know this, I'm not trying to tell you guys because you already know, but a lot of these signings, you're getting 2 to 3 year deals. You're not signing guys in for 5 years. So if you get a Questenberry on a 2-year deal, you can still draft someone in that 3rd, 4th round, groom him behind Questenberry, and then you have Slater and the new tackle of 3 years from now to take over. So to me, Questenberry is kind of a slam dunk. His brother's been here in LA, UCLA. I think that's a great tackle potential.
Guys, see Carlo. Are the stars aligning? Are the Chargers stars aligning? We're seeing lightning. We're seeing thunder. It rained a bit ago. Draft's coming up soon. There are a shit ton of people excited right now in Chargers land, and this just doesn't happen. This is different. I know, Jake, you and I talked about this all last year, as we saw things kind of coming together. This is different than years past. And, this is very different now.
Seriously, who's blowing up my phone? Oh, yeah. Powerball.
Big news. Powerball now draws 3 days a week. Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. Play now. Please play responsibly. Must be 18 years or older to purchase player claim.
Yeah, it's been a minute since you've seen something like this take place for the Chargers in an offseason. Tom Telesco is not usually one to make trades outside of the draft, and the trades that he has made inside the draft have not really worked out. So he's like, hey, fuck it. I'll try my luck somewhere else. And hey, he swung and he got a good one.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And let's not forget, I mean, Brandon Staley coached Khalil Mack in Chicago. So obviously, I'm sure Brandon Staley was like, let's go get this guy. I love it. Yeah, it's great. And I saw what you put one comment up there about going to get Devin Lloyd. Do you guys think, I mean, you guys are big more in the draft than me. I've seen some people have Lloyd falling into the 20s. Is that possible, you think?
So, I mean,
I know
it's
linebacker's
possible.
Not a premium, but
right. I know it. I think it's possible. And I think just after hearing a lot of comments from everybody that was at the combine, I think just in the terms of his testing, I know, testing you usually measure against tape, and it's supposed to be either a compliment, but it's still just to encourage you to go back and watch the tape. Devin Lloyd, without a doubt, is a monster. But in this particular circumstance of what you have right now at that linebacker spot, I can't see the Chargers making that move. If they didn't have a Kenneth Murray, or if they didn't have a Drew Tranquill,
or Khalil Mack,
I would say by all means, go get him. By all means, go and get him. But no, I just don't see that as a possibility.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. But if he falls, you never know. But we'll see. I don't know.
He's not getting out of the first round. I can't see him getting out of the first round.
There's no way. Chargers fan from upstate New York, Rat Roll, welcome to LAFB. Since the days of Dan Fouts, go Bolts 2022. Man, it's a great day. It's a great day for Chargers Nation, man. This is the Chargers traded for Khalil Mack the day after they re-signed Mike Williams to stay at Los Angeles Chargers for 3 years.
Yeah. And like we keep saying, free agency hasn't even started yet. Christmas came early, boys. Christmas came early.
It feels good. It feels damn good.
Yeah. I got to quickly show before we even we have some prop bets up on LAFB Network that all you guys should go. You can win free prizes. Let me show you guys how to do that. Share screen. I haven't done this in a while. I know you guys have been doing this on your show.
Should they use betus.com? Just a thought.
They could do that too.
Just a thought.
They should do that as well. But yeah, if you head to LAFBnetwork.com, first of all, we live stream now directly on the site, but we got these two props, over under for Khalil Mack's sack total, and who has more sacks, Khalil Mack or Joey Bosa. So,
ooh, Jake, who has more sacks? Who would you say?
Who has more?
I'm gonna say Bosa by a half a sack.
All right, I'm taking your pick. Bosa's in the lead right now, 71%. Does Mack have over?
I might go Mack.
Mack's having over 8.5. We're going over that.
Yep. Hey, and Jet Flores came up with reminded us this is birthday. This is Herbo's birthday.
Oh yeah, that's right. Happy birthday, Herbo.
Chargers are like, happy birthday, Justin. Here's Khalil Mack to help you.
Here you go.
You don't give up 35 points a game.
Yeah, that's what a birthday present. Getting Mike Williams back yesterday, and now this. So he's got a great birthday. He's probably out golfing somewhere, I'm sure.
Pretty damn good.
Living the dream.
I'll tell you this, guys. Earlier, I picked a hell of a time to go check my mail today, because this whole thing happened while I left my house to go out into the mailbox, and I come back and I've got 9 tweets from 3 different people, Dan being one of them. But I read another one of my friends who just says, "Oh my God," in all capitals, and I'm like, what? What the hell happened? And then I read Dan's, and he's like, "Jake, Mack is a Charger." And I'm like, Mack is a Charger? I'm like, what? So then I have to start sifting through everything. I'm like, man, did I pick a shitty time to go check the mail?
Yeah, I was on a walk. I took Mia on a walk, and I called Dan. I'm like, bro, did you see the news? I don't know if you were like raking leaves or what you were doing. You're like, no, what's up? I'm like, Khalil Mack is a Charger. So yeah,
I literally was like, wait, what? Like you're kidding. There's no way.
When your father-in-law, who doesn't normally follow football-related news, but is still a football fan, Seattle Seahawks fan, albeit in that, but when he starts sending you text messages with Khalil Mack going to the Chargers, apparently it's a big deal at that point.
Real quick, C. Carlos says, I almost crashed my car when it popped up.
I'm sure there was a lot of instances of, situations like that.
Yeah, last question here, guys. There was a question that came in about Austin Eckler's tweet, which I did not see. Did either of you guys see it? Apparently he said, can't wait for what's to come in the backfield. You think it means something?
Did he just tweet this today, or what was this?
I'm guessing it was today.
I mean, again, I was out checking my mail, so maybe I'm not the most reliable source of information.
Let me look them up right now just so we can actually confirm when it.
While you're looking at that, HH4 QB heads will be on a swivel. Let's go. Apparently, yes, Austin Eckler did tweet that out today. Solo Man, shout out to you. Thanks for chiming in. Ryan, I hope your daughter feeling better. Remember you mentioned she was sick on the live a couple of nights ago.
Oh yeah, she is getting better. Sorry, I don't see it. I don't know if he tweeted it to someone.
I'm looking for it as well to see if I could find it anywhere, but I can't see it.
Unless he deleted it or.
Well, on that subject, you have to figure that the backfield's got to look different than what it was last year. Whether Justin Jackson returns, you've tried 2 years in a row with day 3 picks and Joshua Kelly and Larry Roundtree that have not panned out yet. I mean, I expect fully for them to even use another day 3 pick on one of these running backs in this class.
Yeah, they should. Why not?
I can't believe it's happening. Like,
Dan, you still haven't come off the cloud that you've been on.
Yeah, I don't know.
Hour. Yeah.
I'm on cloud 9 right now. I'm trying to go back and look at the Austin.
Dan's the guy like when you go to the bar with the boys and something happened and then you keep like talking about like the game and Dan's like, oh man, but you know, this time doing this, and it's like, we're not talking about that anymore. Oh, it was okay. I saw the birthday tweet.
Okay, it was like that.
I didn't read it anymore.
Okay. Since it was a happy birthday tweet to Herbo, I wouldn't take that for like, wink, wink, nod, nod that something's coming or anything like that. But again, I would still expect them to possibly sign like a low-level RB2, a la like a James Conner in free agency, and then even reload again possibly in the draft if they don't go that way. So the backfield will be different. The coaches were asking for it all year long, that they have to have more production behind Austin Eckler. So one way or another, this Chargers backfield is going to be different come next season.
Yeah, Chris Isla says, I thought the NFL announcement was a joke at first. And then Lawrence Tortora, Jake, he's talking your language. Trade back with the quarterback and the Steelers in the first round and pick up their second rounder.
Well,
we're back in business.
You can blame the Denver Broncos and the Washington Commanders for shutting out that possibility, because now it looks like, hell, Malik Willis could fall all the way to the Steelers at this point, and they wouldn't have to give up any draft capital to get him.
Ridiculous.
And you still have, this is way off topic from the Chargers, but you trade 3 threes for Carson Wentz, and I'm not saying he's great, but you have Jameis Winston, who's a free agent. Like, why not throw the tires on that? I don't understand that. Everyone's talking about Jimmy G now potentially, or even the Colts are in the business of Derek Carr. I'm starting to hear rumors. I don't know. Jameis Winston did throw 5,000 yards just 2 years ago.
He's like the most feast or famine quarterback in the NFL.
Oh yeah, but when he was healthy with New Orleans, and this is the last thing because it's again off topic, wasn't New Orleans like first like a game behind Tampa, and then he got hurt and it all went.
They got hurt and they just tank.
Yeah. So,
and again, last thing off topic, Ryan, since this is the LAFB Network and we're not going to be completely one-sided here, but have you been researching the draft picks that the Rams are going to make for their first round selection in 2034?
Yeah, my daughter's actually going to go out for that.
Oh, okay.
So by then, women will be in football, so that'll be just a normal thing. And so, yeah, she could potentially be a first-round pick.
Fired.
Nice.
Yeah, she'll be like the Tutu Atwell size, 150 wet, be good to go. Speed
like
demon.
Yeah, I mean, guys, with free agency to start in less than a week, I would say the Chargers are doing damn well. For folks who are just coming in, we've highlighted all things Khalil Mack going to the Chargers, the compensation, Mike Williams, how the Khalil Mack trade is affecting kind of the Russell Wilson news we heard yesterday. We've gone through a lot of the reactions from what folks have said about this Chargers team and the free agency so far. Free agency is less than a week away. And the Chargers are headline news right now. And still, we've heard people say in the driver's seat for folks like J.C. Jackson, Hakeem Hicks, Chardavius Ward, you name it.
Yeah. Brad, 100%. 100%, Brad. That's the odds.
Ooh. And then again, if folks want to match,
I'm planting my flag.
Dude, it was good, man.
For the record, Ryan has put out a $100 donation to Children's Hospital if the Chargers do not get J.C. Jackson. We have folks here who are already matching that. We'll find some way to kind of put it out there so we can get a big group of folks. But could J.C. Jackson be the next Charger big signing?
I just think it makes too much sense. All in. Get that back in solidified. And then your CB3 isn't as bad as it was this year. Your CB3 is what? Mike Davis? That's a pretty damn good CB3.
I mean, yeah. I mean, you probably would kick in Asante Samuel Jr. to the nickel cornerback spot, so you have your two bigger body cornerbacks on the outside. But Dan, I mean, that makes so much sense right now. And even if it's not J.C. Jackson, even if it's a Charvarius Ward or whatever, because now since you don't have a second round pick, and even with the Sauce Gardner's being gone and the uneasiness from me to select Derek Stingley at 17 because I can't see it. And Dan, from you think that the market would be too high to select Trent McDuffie at 17. So since you don't have a second round pick to get one of these guys in the second round, yeah, that may be the logical move next from the free agency market.
Jonathan Figueroa, another match,
baby.
Ryan.
Thank you, Jonathan. I mean,
so what do we got? Is that 300 now? We got 300 now. Nice.
Yeah. I mean, I think I need to do something too if they actually sign him, because I'm going to feel bad if we're not. We raised all this money, but then they sign him, we're happy, but then Children's Hospital makes nothing. So maybe
would you be willing to do half that if they sign him?
Maybe I'll do 50 if they sign him. No, I'll just I'll do 50 if they sign him. Or in reality, I'll give 100 still. But I gotta make it sound like a sweet deal. Like, oh, that's how confident I am. But
okay. What if we could do something like Are you saying like you do something as kind of like how Dan Patrick does like pie in the face type thing if they end up signing him?
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, not like exactly
I see where you're going with it. Yeah, I see where you're going with it.
But maybe we could do something like special, like on draft day or something like that, when we're actually all physically together and have something, befall you.
Okay. So if they don't sign him $100, great. Love it. 400 Children's Hospital. If they do sign him, we figure out something else to do. Okay. We'll marinate with it, but I'll still donate just because I obviously I have a tender heart for Children's Hospital. So,
amen. And we'll end it with this, guys. Lightning may strike twice if we get J.C. Jackson. I'm telling you, Chargers fans, past and present, are going to have a heart attack if the Chargers somehow get J.C. Jackson.
Dan, do that next one right below that. Do that next comment right below that. Thank you very much. It's a good comment, isn't it? It's a very good comment.
They're talking Jake's language right now. Let's trade back in a second round pick.
What kind of donation are we doing if the Chargers trade back?
Okay, you know what?
Woo! Hold on. Hayden has doubled it. He now is doing 200 if the Chargers do not get J.C. Jackson.
We're like salesmen. We're just convincing people that this is happening.
This is good.
Hopefully Tom's listening.
Man,
Fourth of Staley.
Love it.
Hey, we're good buddies with Staley's brother, so hopefully he tunes in and tells his brother, make this happen.
Ooh. We gotta just put a clip of this and put it up on LAFB Network and retweet the hell out of it and see how many people we're gonna get on this.
Again, you link this up with Jen Mills, Ryan. I think you could get a nice, sweet following behind this. This would be nice.
See, the thing though, we need to, before we get out of here, because again, we all want them to sign him. So if they sign him, I still want to somehow do something good out there instead of just because we lost, we now donate. How do we couple that?
What's like a contingency? What would be like a
if the Chargers sign J.C. Jackson, I will blank. I will do blank.
I mean, is it still involving a donation? I don't know if everyone else would still match that.
It could be a donation. It could be, you could go, I don't know, volunteer somewhere. You can go, I don't know, pick up trash in the community. You can go up to LA and sell hot dogs outside of SoFi like everyone else is doing these days. Sell Chicago dogs at SoFi.
You're a prosecutor now, dude, with some of these ideas.
I'm a white dude from Colorado. No one's buying my LA dogs outside SoFi, okay? Let's be real. They're walking right by me to the nice, sweet Mexican lady next door.
But there's a branding opportunity for them to call them the Chicago dogs, and they're just I'm just imagining a hot dog seller with a Khalil Mack jersey just giving out Chicago dogs in front of SoFi, and I was just so much pain.
I don't know. Maybe Ryan, it's like an either or type of scenario. Have J.C. Jackson as an option, or if the Chargers draft player X at 17, that's an option, or pick another free agent, and then that's an option.
Okay. I'll think of something.
That way you can still have your outs. I like it though.
Yeah. For now, we'll keep it as just, if the Chargers do not sign J.C. Jackson, I'll be donating $100 to Children's Hospital, LA. We'll go from there.
If they do not, or if they do?
They do not. Because I'm so confident they will.
Okay. I like it.
Okay, so the other way you could do this, and again, I know we're getting way off topic here, but the other way you can do this is the Chargers, if the Chargers donate, or if the Chargers do get him, you'll donate, insert, whatever. And then you can just at the hell out of the Chargers and anyone who's affiliated with them. Be like, guys, not only are you getting a great player, but you're helping society. You're saving children. Yeah. I mean, I think there's legs to that.
So should I just do the same number? 100 either way, or should I do...
Either way. Honestly, that's pretty bold. Either way. You're giving $100, but you are...
My point of doing it was showing that I'm confident that they're going to sign him. But now I'm now I just want to find a way to donate, get people to donate to the Children's Hospital.
Ryan, you're a good egg, man. You're a good egg. But I appreciate you shooting your shot like that. I like the confidence, and I'm sure that everybody else does in the comment section that are clamoring for J.C. Jackson right now. So I like it.
Yeah. Cool. So, all right. Well, we'll leave it. 100 if they don't sign him, and I'll do 50 if they do. We'll just make it so it's I'm not paying as much.
We can do 50 if they don't, 100 if they do, or you can do like 200 if they do. And I'll match you. I'll do 100. You do 100, and I'll be 200 for both of us.
Okay. We do that.
Cool. So 200
$100
from LAFB if they do sign him.
If they do sign him, and 100 for me and everyone else. It's matched if they don't. Okay.
Correct.
Cool. Then it's in the universe. It's real.
Let's go.
I like it. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys.
So
anything else you want to tell the good people other than, enjoy this one, sip a cold one, celebrate the fact that Khalil Mack is a Charger? Anything else you want to say before we log off?
I mean, I was just going to say, I was literally finishing the last paragraph on my mock Chargers free agency, and now I have to light it on fire and start over. So thank you,
how it
Velasco
happens.
and Staley. Yeah,
Mhm.
I had literally mapped it all out. I had the cap space. I was working numbers. I looked like that. What's Zach Galifianakis from The Hangover when he's like the Rain Man coming down with all the numbers. And now I got to just start over. So
wait a minute.
Thanks for that. But hey, this is a better way to do it.
So now could we spoil who your pick was for them at this point, since now you have to go back and change everything?
I mean, yeah, it was my mock free agency. So it wasn't draft. I was doing like a mock draft, but for free agency, just predicting every single signing.
Got it.
So I won't say the internal ones, but outternal, I had JC Jackson, obviously.
He said
Yes.
outternal.
Outternal, yeah, I'm just going to make it up. Yeah, external. There we go.
The next T-shirt from LAFB. Outternal.
Outternal. There we go. It's been a long day already. Mia's been up since 5 a.m. It's been a long day. I had JC Jackson. I still think everyone's talking about Wagner right now. I still think Alexander Johnson is a name Chargers fans should at least familiarize with from the Broncos. Obviously, familiarity with Brandon Staley. That's kind of a theme as always. Finished third against the run in PFF rankings. Was injured a little bit last year. But when you look at the difference between him and Kaiser White, if they don't re-sign Kaiser White, Johnson is better at what Kaiser White wasn't good at, and that was stopping the run, as he finished third in all linebacking ratings against the run. So I think that's a name to look at, but we'll see now if getting Khalil Mack changes that. They don't play the same position, but
definitely let us know when you revise it and you get it up on the site, because I'm sure people would love to read that.
I'll have it up this weekend for sure. So
fantastic.
I'm going to finish this nice, delicious slapdick whiskey and
I was going to ask
second,
if that was slapdick. I was going to ask if that indeed was the whiskey, but I wanted you to say it, not me.
Yeah, I had to. I was like, with the news, we're going live. I'm like, yeah.
There it is.
Let's pour something. I'll get you guys some. Don't worry. We'll get you some of the draft.
Attaboy. Yes.
Let's go. Let's go, guys. All right, we've had a ton of fun here. I know this was kind of a quick episode. Had to go out and talk live all things Khalil Mack trade. Love all the engagement we had from all of the listeners and viewers who are live with us.
You.
It's been a blast. Guys, Khalil Mack is a Charger. Holy shit.
And to echo everybody's comments in the section, Tom Telesco is not done.
Not done. What's that?
All
Marcus
right, so
Peters.
Let's end it.
Yet.
Let's end it. Let's end it on this last note, and then we're going to sign off. The next free agent the Chargers sign is who? Is it J.C. Jackson?
I would say that's the odds-on favorite.
Yeah, I think you signed the big fish first, right? Because you don't want him to be able to negotiate. So I think that. But so let's go after him, since we've been talking about him a lot. So let's go aside from J.C. Jackson. Who's the next free agent signing?
I would have to say then Akeem Hicks.
Akeem Hicks.
Chardavius Ward.
Big names here.
That's another one. Chardavius Ward from the Chiefs.
Is that who you're going with?
You're going to.
You think they do JC? You think they do JC and Chardavius, or you don't think you're not as confident on JC as I am? I know that.
I'm okay. I am so optimistic, and I would love to have JC Jackson. I'm just like kind of jaded, and I'm like, I would have so many internal errors if I got JC Jackson, but I want JC Jackson. I don't know what Chardavius Ward's contract's going to look like.
It's going to look a lot different than JC Jackson's.
That's what I'm saying. So they could get both.
6 to 8 million a year, I would think. Maybe
honestly,
10
I'd do it.
max.
I'd do it.
And JC's at 17 to 18.
Oh no, no, I wouldn't. I'd probably rather do like Tyrann Mathieu than Chardavius Ward at that point. If you do
JC Jackson, and this is just my opinion, then you are, in my opinion, done in the secondary and free agency, and then you're just building depth in the draft. Because then you're developing guys. Because you don't sign free agents, especially for decent money, to be a fourth option. Like you're signing them to be a instant contributor, whereas draft picks, you can draft to develop, be role players, be special teamers. So you don't want to go sign a guy in Tre'Davious Ward who would be a CB4 because he'd probably be after Asante Samuel Jr. and Mike Davis. So to me, if they sign JC Jackson, they're done in the secondary and then they can address other needs. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, I agree with that, Ryan. Signing JC Jackson is not replacing anybody in the secondary. You're reshaping it because we all know that Chris Harris isn't coming back. So everybody kind of immediately goes, okay, well, who are you going to pair to be that CB3? If it is Tre'Davious Ward, then yeah, I could see him sliding into that nickel position. But if you get JC Jackson, you're essentially going to, in my opinion, move Asante Samuel Jr. to the slot and in the nickel, and then just have Mike Davis and JC Jackson man the outside. And even just saying that should hold a lot of intrigue for the secondary if you're pairing it with Nasir Adderley and Derwin James.
Yeah. If they don't get JC Jackson, which again I think they will, but if they don't and they just get priced out or someone else is coming in with $20 million, then I would be very intrigued to see if they go after a guy like Bryce Callahan, who they can get for $5 to $6 million, and he's a true slot guy. So then he's your slot, and then you have Davis and Asante on the outside. So that's kind of yes. I know that Tre'Davious Ward talk is getting a lot of legs. I don't know why. I'm not a huge Tre'Davious Ward fan. Nothing against him. I think he's a great player, but I don't see that as much. I wouldn't be surprised if it does happen, but that's just my take on that.
He was one of the best slot corners of the NFL last year, statistically.
If the rumors are true indeed around JC Jackson, and if we can take into account the comments that Brandon Staley was saying during Combine Week as far as how invested they were going to be in the cornerback position, basically just that we're always going to be looking at corners for the foreseeable future and always investing in that. If you take history as an example, just last year, the biggest priority for the Chargers was giving Justin Herbert adequate protection. And what did they do? They went out and they signed the best center on the market as their first big move of free agency that they did. And they gave him a huge contract to do that when they brought in Corey Linsley. If that is the same approach that they are about to do when free agent frenzy kicks off here in just a couple days, then I think that the chances of them being bidders in that war are pretty high.
It's a great point. Because that's the culture shift that we've seen.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, guys. If you have not already, be sure to subscribe to LAFB on Twitter, Instagram, obviously on YouTube. Hit the like and subscribe button. Jake, myself at Chargers Unleashed, at LAC_Unleashed. Jake Hefner, you can find at Jake T. Hefner, myself at Chargers Homer, and Ryan Dyrud, the engine of this whole LAFB caboose train, at Ryan Dyrud LAFB. Ryan, thank you for having us, man. This has been awesome.
No, thank you. This is all of us. So last thing, Jake, what's the front of the train called?
God damn it.
I'm so glad you said it because I heard it too.
Well, he did it worse last night. I was talking to him last night. What's the front of the train called?
Oh, man. There's a multiple number of names that you could go with it, but let's just go the front car, the engine. How about that?
Yeah. Dan in his eloquent way complimented me, but called me the caboose. And I'm like, I don't think you meant caboose because that's the back of the train.
The caboose of the whole network. And I was like,
drives the train backward.
Yeah. I mean, that's true. Yeah, if you don't have the engine on the back.
Hey, thank you, Jake. Trains go one way, and then they turn around, like go down to San Diego, LA, look at all the transit systems, and then turn around, and all of a sudden the caboose is the engine.
Dan, you're not helping yourself.
There's a new engine.
That's how it works, right? That's how it works?
You're not helping yourself.
There's a new engine that did. Yeah. But thank you both. Great news. Whatever. Great day to be a Chargers fans. Great day for LA football. Great day for the LA Football Network. Fellas, indeed. Appreciate you. Do you want me to sign this off, or you want to sign this off, Dan?
Please, sir.
You two, I don't know who took over, but anyway, thanks, guys. Peace.
Seriously, who's blowing up my phone? Oh, yeah. Powerball.
Big news. Powerball now draws 3 days a week, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. Play now. Please play responsibly. Must be 18 years or older to purchase player claim.
Spring it on with 40 to 70% off almost everything at Gap Factory and GapFactory.com. Matching styles for the family are on sale too. Shop it all through April 12th.